Hi everyone, welcome to our session where you'll learn how to set up an AI end-to-end integration project with IBSO at the example of Invoice Object Recommendation. My name is Gloria Benitez Utrilla. I'm a product manager in the area of artificial intelligence and machine learning at SAP. Today, I'm joined by my colleague Thomas. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Thomas Ansorge. I am development manager at IBSO, where my team focuses on AI projects.
Thank you, Thomas. Now let's get started. First, let me start by telling you about the AI solution we built our case around, Invoice Object Recommendation. This service is one of the machine learning-based solutions offered as part of the AI Business Services portfolio. The presented solution focuses on the accounts payable area, in which employees usually invest a lot of time to manually process and post a single invoice. Let's have a closer look at this example. We have an incoming invoice without a reference document previously attached. Here is where our IOR service comes into action. The machine learning algorithm is previously trained on historical data so that when it analyzes the incoming information, patterns are found and extracted for future incoming invoices to give ahead proposals. With IOR, you will no longer have the need to correct wrongly assigned accounts, and you'll have the opportunity to enhance the overall financial reporting by minimizing those roadblocks due to discrepancies in accounts or budgets. Now moving on to the enablement part. Here's a brief overview of the architecture perspective. Similar to the other services in the AI Business Services portfolio, the source system of IOR is client independent, meaning you should not worry about the system version you're currently using, as you'll still be able to use our solutions. It is a simple HTTP request where you'll just need to authenticate yourself to the service and this way be able to call the RESTful API from the SAP Cloud Platform. Everything else will be running on it as well. For IOR, there are three main service functionalities that are important to understand: upload, training, and inference. I will briefly tell you what each is about, and later on, you'll get a better insight in the demo we've prepared for you. First, we have the upload. In the data batch handle, you'll upload multiple small chunks of data to be able to move on to the data pre-processing, where the data model generation is taken care of. Second, we have the training where you generate your model for the desired target variables, such as general ledger accounts or cost centers. And also where you are able to check the performance feedback on the training and testing accuracy. Third and last, the inference service. The classification of invoice objects refers to when the best fitting invoice objects based on extracted patterns are found, followed by the calculating probabilities where the return targets contain certain confidence. Hope you're still with me, but if I lost some of you along the way, here is the key takeaway of this session, our project lifecycle. For a project to succeed, we firstly need the customer's interest at hand, for which we offer a possible intelligent solution to enhance the invoice processing. Before committing to the solution, our customers are able to ensure that it actually fits their business needs by testing the service to get positive results through our free trial. Only then will there be an interest to seek the integration of the solution. For this next part, the solution integration, I would like to hand over the stage to Thomas.
As we've just heard, the IOR service must be integrated into an existing system landscape. The setup of the business area for vendor invoices is usually customer-specific. As a result, it's necessary to integrate the actual use of the IOR service into the existing software landscape. This requires an integration via new software. Now let's have a look at the main blocks of software that work together to integrate the IOR service. Basically, an SAP ECC or S/4HANA system should already be in place to cover the financial process for incoming invoices. The system has components that can receive a vendor invoice automatically from an interface or create it manually in a structured form. This structured form represents the data fields and their values, for example, an invoice number or a date. It is not an image of a paper invoice, and it's also not a PDF document. In many cases, specific non-standard user interfaces are used for creating or changing structured vendor invoice data. This is where the IOR service has to be integrated. Our goal is to do this with a new add-on. The add-on will be a newly developed software created in cooperation with customers. Primarily, it will do two things. enable the customer's business process for vendor invoices, and manage the IR service. But the add-on will also do a few other things. For example, it will determine cost objects for new invoices by applying the IR service and provide features for retraining the IR service or monitoring the quality of the IR results over time. Frequent retraining of the IR service is necessary so that the service remains in sync with the productive business data. The add-on will be developed for an existing landscape, so this could be on-premise or in cloud. Looking at the typical architectural layers, you'll also see a great variety there. The existing system landscape might use a middleware to exchange information and messages with other systems. This is just one option of many possible architectures, but one that is common in larger landscapes. A separation of systems using this middleware decouples the systems and offers different possibilities for technical implementation. Depending on the existing landscape, it might be required or helpful to implement the new add-on in a cloud environment. As the add-on is customer specific, it's possible to develop it both either as a cloud component or on-premise. The add-on will communicate with different parts of the overall solution. This includes the financial system, any other additional non-standard components, and of course, the IR service itself. The IR cloud service is hosted by SAP and is not part of the customer landscape. A middleware technology is necessary to enable communication between these components. The options for doing this vary from simple web service calls to more complex middleware systems. This diagram just shows a sample implementation. The add-on will be created as a customer-specific development in order to cater for the current landscape requirements. SAP Innovative Business Solutions is a key provider of such developments, as we will see in the following. We at SAP Innovative Business Solutions strive to be your trusted partner in innovation, helping you to solve your most complex business challenges and leverage the full innovation potential. We provided a human-centered and agile approach to innovation. We help you build your inspired business idea and deliver a uniquely tailored solution through a simplified journey from inception to scale. Starting in the explore phase, we work with you on innovation ideas. In the discovery phase, we get a deeper understanding of your innovation requirements. During the design and delivery phase, we work with you on the design and implementation of your innovation ideas. Even during the run phase, we ensure a simplified service portfolio and a single set of deliverables that provide the right resources at the right time. You might be wondering, what would such a project look like? Who would be involved, and how could the project be carried out? As an example, let's take a look at a project in which SAP Innovative Business Solutions successfully implemented the IR service for a large telecommunications company. In terms of the scenario, the financial system resided on an S/4 on HANA system. Additional components were used for OCR scanning of vendor invoices. Other interfaces had also already been designed to manage vendor invoice data. Both the customer and SAP set up a project team to implement the IR service. The customer brought people to the table to discuss the to-be solution and user interfaces. Because the solution was to be developed as on-premise in the existing system, system access was also required. On the SAP side, the project team involved a project manager, software architect, and a data scientist. The project manager was the single point of contact for the customer team. For example, the project manager set up and hosted all joint meetings and discussions between SAP and the customer. The development team with architect and developers talked to customer business representatives and IT personnel to define the scope and relevant solution details. They discussed functional requirements and the design of user interfaces. A data scientist was responsible for connecting the IR service and monitoring the quality of the results. The add-on itself is integrated into the existing landscape and makes use of the underlying messaging services. We completed all the project activities for creating the add-on in 3 months. This timeframe may of course vary in other projects depending on the specific requirements. So allowing for time to try out the service and make sure that it meets your requirements, the add-on can be put into production in a pretty short timeframe. There are at least 4 reasons why SAP Innovative Business Solutions is a trusted advisor for end-to-end innovation services. First, we work as one team with SAP AI Business Services, So IBSO can support you with the key services during implementation and help you fully leverage the value of the IOR service. No partner has the mandate to implement this service. Second, we promise our customers that we'll aim to gain a deep understanding of their business challenges, goals, and visionary aspirations. As an outcome, we provide a unique customer innovation. Third, we are flexible in terms of technology. Our services can be implemented and integrated in an on-premise, cloud, or hybrid solution. We take care of the releases and the system landscape. Finally, we are open to all models during the run phase. IBSO can be your trusted advisor during the run phase in an on-premise scenario or act as engineering partner during the run phase of a cloud scenario. And with this, back to you, Gloria.
Thank you for that insight, Thomas. To give you a better idea of how the solution functions, we would like to show you our previously recorded demo of the Invoice Object Recommendation service by my colleague Daniel Quack.
Here we are in the Swagger UI of the Invoice Object Recommendation service. I have already authorized myself to call the different endpoints. So first of all, let us have a closer look at the post statement and the parameters that we need. Of course, we need a CSV file that needs to be uploaded. For the first time you upload a training dataset, there is no job ID required and the job ID is generated with the first upload. And for the following uploads, you need to provide the job ID so that the service is able to map the different uploads to the same upload stream. So let me insert this file to the post. And after inserting the file, we can then click on execute and actually upload the file without the job ID that is now being generated. And after a short amount of time, we are getting the response that the training data has been uploaded successfully. So with this job ID, we can now log the upload stream because we only need this file for demo purposes. And also after a short amount of time, we can see that the log has been set successfully. And to check this also, there's the option to call the get endpoint to see that the log state is successfully retrieved and that we are now able to train the model. After uploading and logging the data, we can now start the actual training process. So let us first start with the post of the training. So for the training targets for the payload, we want to train on general ledger accounts and cost centers. So we can just leave this as it is. And there's also required to insert the job ID that we've just uploaded the data. And we can then click on execute. And then the training process is starting. What you can see here is in the response body, the training has been started, this job status is pending with the job ID and the training has been submitted. This means that there is no issue on the uploading data, and after a short amount of time, we should be also able to see whether the training was successful. For this we need our job ID and we can execute this and we can see that the service is still running. So the training is still running. This might take some time depending on the size of the data set and also how much pre-processing is needed to finish the training process. So we can try again to execute it and see whether something has changed. And what we can see here is we received the status code 201, which means succeeded. And that we have a training accuracy and the test accuracy. Keep in mind that this is only mocked data, so therefore this might be not a representative result. And we get the feedback that the model is trained for the first time for this tenant. We got a model name and, like I said, training and test accuracy for this for the cost center and also for the general ledger account. Let us look how the inference is looking like. So first of all, let us have a look at the inference call. And it's quite straightforward. We just need to upload the inference file, which is also a CSV file. So let me quickly open this. And as you can see here is that we're simply uploading one invoice and with 3 items, the company codes and also the accounting types, tax codes, the vendor ID, the document types, and also the posting date and the item price. So with this, we want to get predictions on the general ledger accounts and the cost center information for the data that we've trained the model. So let me upload the file. After selecting the file, we can then execute the inference. And after a very short amount of time, we can see that the inference was successful from a formatting perspective, and we can also download the file with our predictions. So here's how the recommendation can look like. We have our unique identifier to see the different line items, and we're getting the recommendations for the general ledger accounts as well as for the cost centers. So this time we are getting 3 general ledger account predictions for the 3 line items as a first prediction, but also for each line item the service is giving 3 invoice objects with a given confidence as a prediction, as we can see here. The confidence is not looking that high because of the mock data example, but I think the structure should be clear. And for the cost centers, the same applies, as you can see here. So there are recommendations for each line item with a given confidence. So let me jump back into the Swagger UI and also have a closer look at the usage endpoint. You can just execute, and after executing, as you can see, in my case, the trial usage, that I have a maximum of 2000 files that I can upload and line items, and I have currently utilized 9 of the inference calls, and there's still remaining 1991. And that's it for the Invoice Object Recommendation service.
That was a heck of a demo. As we are coming to the end of the session, let me summarize how easy it is to use the IOR service. First, the service must be trained by uploading the invoice data to the system and making sure to lock the training. Second, to train a model, the service needs to first pre-validate the training input, and only after it can the model performance be exposed. Third and last, the prediction of the service depends on the target variables, which were initially uploaded and trained. For each invoice line item, there will be invoice objects predicted with a confidence score each. So, what are you waiting for? Go check it out. If you would like to continue your learning experience, you can do so through the SAP Learning Help platform, which provides unlimited access to all its content in multiple languages. Take your time to activate your access so you don't miss anything. With this, we've come to the end of the session. Thank you everyone for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed it. We would be happy to get in touch with you about any use case ideas. Please do not hesitate to reach out to any of us for further questions or inquiries. Have a great day.